that, Dane. Now we're going to dive into the foundations. Anyone can build a site or have a site built if you have enough money or you have enough time to do it yourself. But if you don't have customers, that's not going to be very helpful. So with that in mind, I'd like to call upon Alexis Pauly. Let's see if I can put my thing on speaker view or somehow pin her. So I'm kind of looking at her. There we go. Okay, great. So maybe Lexi, if you just want to introduce yourself, tell everyone who you are.
Hi everybody, nice to be out of my comfort zone with all these techies, but yeah, I'm a cake baker, decorator.
That's right.
Thanks, Alex.
And so Lexi is from Muizenberg. She lives with her husband Wayne, and we know them from Mountain View Baptist Church, where we fellowship together. So Lexi, why don't you tell us a bit about what is Lexi's Crumbs and how did it begin?
All right, so back to the beginning. I was working in the hospitality industry as a chef, and I wanted a change. I'd asked the chef if I could move to the pastry section at the time, but there wasn't actually a space for me, and I really wanted to be in the pastry section. So in December 2012, I decided I wanted to make a Facebook page, and this was my initial brainchild. And I've been thinking of a business name for a few days, and I wanted something unique, seeing there's so many different cake decorating businesses out there. And so I decided to add a piece of my name to my business name to give it that personal touch. And so Lexi's Crumbs was born in 2012, really. And then I had a great response from my friends and my family, and I continued to work in the hospitality industry until the March. And I was coming home after night shift, and I was still icing and baking cakes, and I decided, no, I need to go with my husband and take a leap of faith. He really pushed me over the edge, and I went into baking full time. Yeah, was exciting but scary all at the same time.
Wow, so that's interesting. So your baking business actually began on Facebook and with friends and family. Is that right? Do you want to tell us more about that?
Correct. So during the next few months, I baked for friends and family and friends of friends, and I just started posting every second or third day on Facebook, just to keep in the newsfeed, not to be forgotten. Yeah, it was a slow build, just plodding along, and I joined a few forums on Facebook as well, which the cake decorating community, which helped. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And so that was all on Facebook. And so at what point, so you started, if I could just get the dates right, you made your first sale of your own baked goods. Was that December 2012, is that right?
Possibly. Yeah, maybe in the January, once I was up and going. December's quite a busy time in the hotel industry.
Okay, so beginning of 2013, and then you left. You left your job and you did it full time, and your main marketing channel was sort of Facebook, friends and family. And at what point did you actually get a website?
So it was the December of that year, 2013. My husband actually bought my domain name and the hosting as a Christmas present, and that was the next phase for us. And we designed my logo together and the colors and the format of my webpage. Yeah, it was my webpage is a basic WordPress site, an about page, cake flavors, photographs of my baked goods, how to contact me. Yeah, so that was I've still got my WordPress site, and that my husband could build it for me, but the rule was that I need to learn how to maintain the site. So I had to learn how to upload photographs, edit the text, so that I can keep it current. And yeah, so I didn't have to nag him to do that.
Okay, so your husband is a software developer and he built a
Not
website
at
for you,
all.
and
Not at
you're a
all.
graphic designer and you built your logo, is that right?
No, not at all. We just managed our way about. I don't fiddle with any code, but WordPress is quite easy once you get to know it. I know the basics, and that's enough to get me around.
Okay, that's pretty encouraging. And did you use any kind of a site builder like Oxygen or something like that?
Yeah, my husband downloaded a elegant theme site builder called Divi, which is placed on top, and yeah, it does a lot of the work for you. It's I'm used to it now. I wasn't used to it initially. Yeah, it's I think it helped with my ebook in the end.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely get to that. It did help, and that's where I personally came into the situation. But
Yeah.
and I understand you also had a did you blog at all? So you were still doing
I, I,
Facebook and
I
the Weirdo website?
yeah. So I did blog initially on my WordPress site, but then I changed hosting a number of years ago, and I lost my blog. But I can definitely start up a blog again on my WordPress site, and I might definitely do that in the future. It's a
Okay,
nice
sure,
creative outlet.
sure. So you lost your entire blog because you changed
Yeah,
hosts. I'm
yeah,
sure that was
yeah, it's
a
all
bit of
good.
a lesson learned.
Yeah, yeah, a hard lesson learned.
And okay, so get a host with that's a reputable host that has backups. I'm guessing
Yeah,
that's the lesson.
correct.
Okay, so you carried on word of mouth and things were growing. And what was the next sort of significant event that helped you to grow your business, and that's
I
technology
would
related?
say, hmm, I would say the next main thing was getting a proper camera. I got a DSLR camera as a birthday present, and that was a real game changer. I would say my initial photographs were quite amateur. I would take them at night, and the backgrounds were different, so they were a bit grainy. Um, so yeah, my business is based on what you see. A lot of my business is based on what you see because not everyone can taste. So having good photographs is actually key in my business. So yeah, it was a great investment, and I did 2 training sessions with my new camera, one at the Nikon school in town, and I did a private lesson just to learn how to use the camera, the different buttons. I'd gone from a little point and shoot to this big chunky DSLR, and it was yeah, a learning curve I needed to adjust to. And I watched lots of YouTube videos on how to use the camera, and then I also downloaded or subscribed to Adobe Lightroom as an editing package. Because I think with the DSLR, you need an editing package with crop and straighten, add light, take out light, and then add my name to each photograph before I exported it. So that each photograph is named correctly with my watermark attached, which is also good for your SEO at the end of the day.
Okay, SEO, what is that? Some people might not know what that is.
Your site engine optimization. So if you named your photographs correctly, and they're not just DSC number 314, it helps you climb the very high ladder.
Okay, so Lexi, you're confusing me now. So you're saying you guys are not software developers, professional photographers,
Not at all.
graphic designers, search engine specialists, yet you
Not
managed
at all.
to learn all of that. I mean, it must have taken you years and thousands of rands and hiring professionals, hiring
Not at
consultants
all. No,
to help you.
YouTube is an encyclopedia in your hands. You can learn anything on YouTube, literally anything. I probably learned half my business on YouTube, how to ice cakes. If I'm stuck with something, a new design that I don't know what to do, I just YouTube it and it's there.
Sure,
Incredible. Yeah.
that's very encouraging. Okay, and And so now you had this quite a nice foundation in place. You had the Facebook going, you had your website going. How did you just continue to engage with your clients and add new clients, and sort of grow your client base?
Yeah. So the best and most organic growth for my business is word of mouth. So I bake a cake, it goes to a party, there's 20 moms there. 5 moms decide, hey, they like the cake, they're going to give my Facebook page a like. Maybe I'll get an order in a few months' time. And if you're doing 5 cakes every weekend and you're getting 5 likes from each birthday party, your page is growing steadily every weekend. And it's a slow build, but you just need to be consistent with putting your content up on Facebook and yeah, just being consistent about it. I also found that people are most likely to share a nice quality photograph as opposed to a not so nice quality photograph. So I noticed the difference when I was posting better photographs. People were sharing them more, commenting more, liking them more. So yeah, post the best quality photograph that you can. It really does go a long way. And yeah, I also had business cards printed and stickers printed just as that professional touch to your business. On each cake box, I've got a little sticker and a business card goes with it. And yeah.
That's fantastic. And you learned this all. You had a marketing consultant that helped you to learn all of this and do that.
Not at all. No.
Wow. Okay. Fantastic. So by the time this dreadful COVID-19 virus hit us, so you started your business at 2012, 2013. COVID hits March 2020. Um, how many followers did you have on Facebook at that time?
Recently, when I checked, I've got about 4,000 fans on my Facebook page. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice amount.
So yeah, and that
Yeah.
took years of consistency to build. And so
Yes.
how did you handle COVID and the lockdown, which ended up being quite long?
Yeah. So March 2020 came, my baking diary stopped in its tracks, cancellations, postponements. It just literally stopped the day the president announced lockdown. So initially I thought, okay, well, I'll just, it's 3 weeks, I'll wait it out and then continue afterwards. And then when the lockdown was extended, I thought, no, I need to come up with a plan. I need to think out the box here, how I can generate an income. So it was actually my husband's idea to start the ebook. And I liked the idea and I thought, okay, I could probably do this. And I gave myself a month to compile and publish the ebook. That way, I had a timeline, I had an end, I had to work on it every day, I had to keep the momentum going, and so that it would be finished within a month's time. Yeah, so I compiled my ebook in Canva, which is a graphic design platform. I've got the free version. It's a great platform. You can make invitations, flyers, brochures. It's got all the text and the pictures, got free usage photographs you can use. So I compiled the whole book in Canva, and it allows you to export as a JPEG, a PNG, or a PDF. So I exported my ebook as a PDF document. And once that was done, I knew I had to send it for proofreading. I'd read a few articles about publishing ebooks, and they say send it for proofreading. So I did that, and I knew I needed a payment platform on my website. I knew my book was going to be sold on my website. I just didn't know how. But I knew I needed some platform to organize the money and the people paying and things like that. So I signed up with PayFast. It had to be verified as a merchant. They needed my ID, my bank account. They needed my web page. They wanted to know what I was going to sell. And that took 2 or 3 days. And then once I was verified, that step was done. Then I installed WooCommerce, the free option. And that was the plugin on my WordPress site. But at that point, I still couldn't figure out how to marry PayFast and WooCommerce so that the client can click on add to cart and they get the product in their email as a download. And so that's where I hit a brick wall, and that's where I called on you.
By you mean me? Yes. Okay.
you. You.
Yeah. I mean, I just came in at that time. I mean, I didn't spend long on that. I spent a few hours, and it was really more just clicking around. I think I had to install a uh, was it a WooCommerce PayFast plugin and something like that. But I mean, even though I'm a coder, I didn't write any code to do that. I just kind of figured out how to stitch it all together. And even if and yeah, you did actually pay me with a very nice birthday cake for my son. Um, but that, yeah, it was more of a favor. But so that got going, and then yeah, I mean, about a week after that, I seem to remember you launching that. And how did the sale go of that ebook?
It went really well. I made a month's wage out of it, which is exactly what we needed at the time. And it's still going, so it's there, so it's still going, still generating an income. Yeah, I will definitely do another one in the future.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's really good. And um, What um what sort of tips? I mean, I remember you had some issues with PayFast initially, and some people weren't able to pay. Are there any tips that you can give someone going through this process that you kind of wish you would have known sooner or at the beginning?
Yeah. So I've got 5 basic tips. My product is not non-tangible, so it's a download, so it might differ depending on what's in your shop. But my first tip would be, once you're ready to upload the items to your shop page, I would advise you get a second opinion just on the layout and spelling and the wording. In my case, it was a proofreader, and I'm glad I did that. She picked up a lot of not spelling errors, but margin errors, sentence structure, and little differences that I'd overlooked. So it's advisable to get an outside, unbiased opinion. They could pick up things that you might not have seen. Because at the end of the day, you want to put out the most professional looking product as possible, and that's a way to ensure that. Yeah, I would definitely recommend that. Number 2, I would have all your login details typed up on one page, your WordPress backend, your WooCommerce plugin, your PayFast, so that the person helping you design your page has all that on hand. They don't have to keep asking you, what's the login for this? What's the login for this? It's going to streamline the process much, much easier. Yeah. Number 3 was the one you mentioned. Ensure all your payment options are enabled. On PayFast, they have to enable different countries, and initially my countries were not enabled. So I had people in the UK that were struggling to purchase my ebook, and I had to log into PayFast, and I didn't know where to click. So I just phoned them and I said, please just help me enable all the countries. And the guy quickly clicked, and it was done in seconds. So yeah, make sure you have all your payment the different countries, if it's depending on what's in your shop. Number 4, I also learned the hard way. List what payment options you accept. So if you're accepting debit cards or credit cards or instant EFTs, because I found a lot of people were asking me that before they even headed to my page to purchase my ebook. And once I had uploaded the little images, PayFast actually have the little images in your account page that you can upload. Those questions stopped. So that was, yeah, I learned that the hard way. And then lastly, do a full trial run of the process to iron out any glitches. So went onto my page, add to cart, check out, pay, put in all your little billing details. You'll get the confirmation emails. You can see exactly how it looks. And I'm thankful I did that because my initial download that came into my inbox was not my book. It was a placeholder that we had not removed yet. So yeah, I'm glad we sorted that out. It would have been embarrassing if someone else got that.
What was it, Lexi? What was it?
It was your ministry notes.
So some sermon or something like that.
Yeah, those would be things that I really learned from the whole process.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. I mean, I don't think is there anything else. I'm personally quite impressed with how you just went about learning these various technologies, from WordPress to WooCommerce. And just on the WooCommerce, I have to add, when I started helping you, I was amazed at just how far you guys had come. I mean, you'd done 99% of it. I just came and connected a couple of little things. But I mean, you guys learned that, you created your own logo. It's a beautiful logo. The Facebook, the Canva to stitch together your PDF and, come up with, beautiful graphics for that. And the photography and just doing courses there. I'm really impressed that, I think people often think that these technologies are quite difficult, and I think the nature of learning technology is a sort of non-linear. It starts out really hard. It's a real slog, but at some point it just kind of curves up, and then you start to just get that. You become productive and get some more satisfaction from time spent. And it sounds like that's really paid off. That sort of consistent, plodding sort of one foot in front of the next for the last 8 years has paid off. And it sounds like, I mean, the world is your oyster now. You can do more ebooks. I mean, there's various things that you can do now. Maybe just tell us a little bit about your plans for the future.
Yeah, I've just started baking again now that the lockdown levels have opened. Yeah, and I'll definitely do another ebook maybe towards the end of the year, early next year, and that process will be so much easier because everything's already in place. Just it should work much smoother. Carrying on baking and caking for now.